So, hello, for the last time, I'll introduce myself. Hi, I'm Einav. I'm the coordinator of the National Erasmus Plus office here in Israel. We're very excited to have you all here, and we're going to share with you now in the chat the platform that is a collaborative communication platform where you can discuss and take part. You're all muted, unfortunately, because this is a large event. Hello to you as well. But still, you can use the chat and also our platform where you can promote your own organizations, your partner searches, discussions you'd like to initiate, and of course, questions for the different speakers. We're very happy to have 12 different NGOs and civil society organizations here with us today that are very active and very impactful in Israel. I'm sure we'll all learn a lot, even the Israeli people sitting here. I'm sure you're not familiar with all the wonderful things that these NGOs do and how they can contribute to your next Erasmus project. So before we begin, first I would like to give the stage to Ms. Daphna Perry. She's the program officer at the EU delegation here in Israel, and we're very happy to have her here. So Daphna, I give the floor to you to say a few words.
Okay, thanks for muting me. Good morning, Boker Tov. Thank you very much for inviting the EU delegation to the State of Israel to greet you this morning. It's really a great pleasure for me to speak to you and to underline the great appreciation that we have for all that you're doing at the National Erasmus Office in Israel. So since its launch in 1987, I believe, Erasmus has given more than 10 million people the chance to study, train, volunteer, or gain professional experience abroad. It's long been one of the pillars of the EU-Israel bilateral relationship. And each year, hundreds of students and staff from Israel visit the EU, and hundreds of European students and staff visit Israel as part of Erasmus Plus programs. But as you know, Erasmus Plus is about much more than just student exchanges. It's also about cooperation in research, networking, capacity building, and most importantly, about building bridges among countries and among people. And that's why we really welcome the efforts of the program to expand its reach to more higher education institutions and more civil society organizations, and the aim for better inclusion and diversity. As you all know, academia and civil society are linked in various ways. And it's our experience that collaborations between organizations from these two sectors can bring about better education and better innovation and human and social development in general. So it's really great to see how many organizations are here today and how many of you share this perspective with us. I hope you'll find this first of its kind NGO mixer useful in facilitating collaborations between organizations and between sectors and between countries with the support of Erasmus+. We're looking forward to seeing the fruits of these collaborations in the upcoming months and years. I also want to congratulate the National Erasmus+ office in Israel for its excellent work and on the different projects it's undertaking. I'd like to commend you once again for the important work that you do and wish you fruitful and engaging meeting. בהצלחה ותודה רבה.
Thank you, Daphna. Thank you so much. The cooperation with the delegation is priceless, and we are really honored that you are here as part of our event. So thank you very, very much. So without further ado, I will present shortly. I'll try to be short. The Erasmus Plus activities and calls that are open here in Israel, because maybe some of you are not yet completely familiar with them. So I will share my slides now. Okay, so welcome to our NGO Mixer. I'm very, very happy you all are here. We're going to meet today different NGOs that take part and impact issues of greening, gender equality, digitalization, innovation, inclusion, conflict resolution, social gaps, and much, much more. So I hope it will be very interesting for you to meet and get to know these different NGOs. But first and foremost, I'm not sure all of you here are familiar with the Erasmus Plus program. So what is Erasmus Plus? Erasmus Plus is the EU flagship program for education, training, youth, and sport. The program for these years, to 2021 to 2027, has an estimated budget of 26.2 billion euros. No, this is not a mistake, 26.2 billion euros. It is a flagship program which supports so many amazing projects and collaborations between the EU and the whole world, and Israel is also a part of this collaboration. So as you can see, we have the EU member states and 6 more states that are associated countries associated to the program, and we have the non-associated third countries. Israel is one of the non-associated third countries in the program, and we're part of region 3, Southern Mediterranean region. And there are a lot of calls open, not only for inter-EU cooperation, but also with Israel, if some of you were not familiar. But what does Erasmus even aim to do? Erasmus has overarching goals that the program wants to promote in the entire world. And this is also here in Israel, but also in collaboration with the EU. So we're talking about issues of inclusion and diversity, environment, democratic values, digital transformation, and employability and global market skills. Together through Erasmus, we're all shaping together the future. We're really focusing on education, on youth, on formal and informal participation in different trainings and activities that actually form a very involved, a very mature, a very competent, and socially and environmentally aware person and global citizen that wants to collaborate and lead our globe to better places through the Erasmus Plus program. So just a word about who is actually here. I know that some of you have already begun using the Miro platform, and we're very happy about that. We can share the link again because we really want to hear you and want this session to be interactive as possible. But who are you? Who are you people that have joined us? So we have people from 54 different countries that have registered to this NGO mixer event. 20 from 20 different EU member countries and countries associated to Erasmus program, which is very exciting for us. About half of you come from higher education institutions, even more than half, and you're interested in a very, very wide range of collaborations that we can possibly promote with the NGOs and other people that are present here and maybe are publishing now on Miro, which is capacity building in higher education, vet, youth, mobilities of all sorts. So we're very happy to have all of you here, and we hope that a lot of these actions come to life in the next call. So as I said, and I'll say it again, you're all welcome to publish in our collaborative communication platform. If you're having any trouble, you can write down in the chat, and I'm sure Inbar or Rifa from our team will be very happy to assist you. So please do join, and we'll be very happy to hear you, and the questions that you write there we'll actually share here and maybe discuss. So the achievements of Erasmus Plus Israel, just a taste. So Israel has been collaborating through Erasmus from 2015 with over 360 different EU organizations. Over 65 million euros were invested in Israel through the different calls and projects, 54 international projects, both capacity building and other projects, cooperation partnerships and others, Jean Monnet, of course. And we have the highest number of mobilities for a non-associated country in the world. So it's something that we're very proud of, and we hope to even have more mobilities in the future, also in the field of youth and not only in the field of higher education. So why we initiated this first ever NGO mixer is because one of our targets as the National Erasmus Plus office in Israel is to involve more NGOs and new stakeholders in applications of projects, not only the old familiar faces, but actually very impactful organizations that can make a big difference through their Erasmus projects and their implementation. And this is why we're gathered here today. Also, we want to give a better focus and a stronger focus on VET. VET, for those who don't know the terminology, vocational education and training, okay? So organizations that have impact and have activities in vocational education and training are also welcome to submit and take part in the Erasmus Plus program. And of course, our very wide and bubbly youth community here in Israel that should take a better part and take advantage of the different opportunities that Erasmus has to offer. In academia, we're going to promote mostly Green Deal initiatives and academia industry topics that have to do with employability. And of course, inclusion is a key factor in all of our activities. And you will see today that all of our NGOs touch upon the issue of inclusion. So what is open here in Israel? In Israel, we have mobility projects. We have mobility, we have projects, which is Key Action 2 mostly. We have Jean Monnet opportunities. We have joint master's degrees, and we're very proud of Bar Ilan University that is a coordinator of the first joint master's degree in the topic of neurodata that was awarded here to Israel with a very interesting and innovative consortium. We're very proud of them for their achievement, and we hope we have more in the future. Of course, youth activities. And we have the Erasmus Plus Israeli Higher Education Reform Experts team, which promote policy here in Israel and how we can bring more EU expertise to the higher education system here in Israel. But today we won't be focusing on all of these. I won't be discussing Jean Monnet and joint master's degrees as much, because I really want to zoom in on the issue of mobility and projects, both capacity building projects and also cooperation partnership projects. So just to give you a taste, for those who are very new to Erasmus, you can generalize the Erasmus Plus program into two key actions that are very, very large and inclusive. This is the mobility key action 1 and the projects. Mobility refers to individual and of course group mobilities from EU to Israel, for example, and also from Israel to the EU. This is not an exchange. It doesn't mean that you have to send and receive the exact amount of people that have been before, but it's much more flexible according to the project needs, according to what you want to promote. We have youth mobility, we have mobility of students and staff, mobility for training, and also mobility for your own staff, for example, for youth worker staff to go abroad for training, workshops, collaborations, job shadowing. So it's a very flexible and interesting action. And we have projects. Projects are larger. You have more participants. It's not just bilateral. You have at least 2 EU countries that organizations that are participating together, and at least it depends on the consortium, 2 Israeli organizations that take part in for example, in capacity building. In cooperation partnerships, it's a bit different. But the general idea is that this is a collaborative project that extends over a few years, that has its own budget and wants to promote a thematic field that is very, very strategical and impactful regarding to one or more of the overarching priorities that I've shown you in previous slides. By the way, you're going to get these slides, and whoever is interested in the slides and got this link from a friend and hasn't registered properly, Inbar and Ifa are going to share the registration link. So even though the meeting has already started, I encourage you to go into that link and register if you haven't registered yet, so you get all the materials and follow-ups that we're going to share with you after this event. So now I'm going to zoom in a bit. It's a bird's eye look, but I'm going to zoom into the different sectors that Israel has open calls in, will have open calls in through Erasmus Plus. All right. So now I'm discussing higher education. We're going to go through higher education, VET, and youth. So in higher education, we have, of course, capacity building in higher education. This is open to Israel. Of course, international credit mobility, the mobility of students, staff, also administrative staff in higher education institutions. We have virtual exchanges, which is a relatively exciting and new. It's not as new as you think, but it's relatively new. Virtual exchanges, where the minimal requirement is at least 2 countries from within our region. Okay, so we're the Southern Mediterranean region, region 3. You can Google it, but in general, it's the countries that in this area we're talking about: Egypt, about Jordan, about Palestine, and Libya, and Morocco, and other countries that are neighboring to us, to have a joint virtual exchange together with them for youth, for students. It's very open. We have the Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees, which we discussed, and design mentors, which is a stepping stone for Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees. Is actually building your own application for an Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees. It takes time and effort to get a consortium together and get all of the streamline all of the ideas. So there's a relatively new called that is called Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees. We have Jean Monnet activities, which promote the studying of the European Union. We have EU outgoing mobility key action 131 that is open. You can have mobilities to Israel from EU and associated countries through key action 131. And of course, cooperation, partnerships, and alliances for innovation, where these are inter-EU projects, but an Israeli organization with extra added value to the exact issue that the cooperation, partnership, or alliance for innovation wants to promote, can be considered a partner in these projects as well. And Israel has won substantially many projects over the years of cooperation partnerships. So, vocational education and training, the calls that are open are capacity building in vocational education and training. And I can tell you that in the past, we haven't received many applications for VET, and actually the funding was not realized. So the grant, so this is a pity. So I really encourage you, because there is a real need in Israel to promote capacity building of vocational education and training. So if there are partners here that are interested in promoting this kind of cooperation, please, you can contact even our office, and you can of course we can of course assist in facilitating meetings between different potential beneficiaries of capacity building in VET. Of course, Israel is also open to European outgoing VET mobilities. Some organizations can be considered for centers of vocational excellence. It depends on the organization and its accreditation. Cooperation, partnerships, and alliances for innovation. As I said before, a participant from Israel with extra added value can also take part in cooperation, partnerships, and alliances for innovation of VET. Lastly, youth. Youth in the Erasmus Plus program is considered ages 13 to 30. So maybe some of the Israeli participants here don't consider themselves a youth organization because they work with youth in the age of 20, 25, 30. So you can consider yourself a youth organization if your activity stems to these ages. So what do we have in youth? What are the open calls? We have capacity building in youth, where there's a minimal requirement of 2 non-associated countries. And this refers to countries within our region, region 3, and also region 1, Western Balkans. Okay, so I'm going to have a teaser now that we're planning on October to have a joint event for youth organizations to brainstorm and to put together capacity building projects in the field of youth together with Kosovo. And whoever's interested in this can write to us in our email inbox and share our email, and we'll be in touch. Of course, you can sign up to our newsletter. Well, then you'll always be updated on all the different things that we initiate together with your country or other countries or within Israel. So we really recommend joining our newsletter, and Inba will share the link for our newsletter really soon. So what else do we have? We have the virtual exchanges, which we discussed. It's also open for youth collaborations, not only for higher education. We have youth participation activities, which are non-formal education activities to promote democracy and civic engagement of youth. And we have, once again, cooperation, partnerships, and alliances for innovation, where the Israeli organization needs to have an extra added value to the project, but can completely be a part of these kind of projects. And as I said, we've had a lot of success in involving Israeli participants in cooperation partnerships in the past. So this is a bit of something to get you interested, all our friends from abroad, but not only. These are the grants with Israel by EU country, ICM, International Credit Mobility. So we're talking about students and staff. As you can see, Germany is way, way beyond the other countries, and we would be very happy to have and it kind of tips the scale, makes it look like the other countries don't have much mobilities, which is not true, but still good competition is always good. And we're very happy to have even more mobilities. Maybe your country doesn't have as much mobility as you would have thought. This means that there's a lot of room for collaboration because the envelope is not very competitive. So we encourage you to take part, and also youth exchanges. So here you can see the youth exchanges that we've had with different countries, and you can try to find your country and think how we can have more collaborations and more exchanges in the future. If I am referring to Key Action 2 projects, we've had a lot in different fields, not only in higher education, but also in youth and other fields. And you can see a lot of countries here that have taken part. And we still want to invite you to continue these collaborations. You can see that India and Georgia, which are third countries not associated to the program, have been very active with Israel in capacity building and other projects. And we invite more and more countries to do the same. We're talking about Africa, we're talking about Western Balkans, and we're talking about our neighborhood, of course, and whoever else is interested. We're always open for collaborations. So here I want to share with you the partner search database. It's for people and organizations that are looking for partnerships with Israeli partners through the Erasmus Plus program. We're going to share this slide with you, but of course, Inbar is going to share the link for the database. So if you aren't on that database, we invite you to sign in, and your information, the information that you share there, will be open and available to all of the Israeli partners and potential beneficiaries that we're in contact with that want to promote collaborations through the Erasmus Plus program and don't know where to start, don't know who their potential partners are. And this is a very common problem that a lot of Israeli organizations here have, the issue of partner search. So I conclude my presentation 5 minutes before time, yes. And I will, of course, you're free to contact us, but also to learn and see our info days that we've had in the different sectors. We've also shared the information of the different functional mailboxes of ACA. That is our hosts, that are the ones that actually run and lead this wonderful program, and you can contact them and get more information about the different calls. So we finished 5 minutes ahead of time, and our next speaker is Mausa. Mausa is from Salto. And she's a project officer for Salto Euromed, and she's going to give an introduction to Salto and Erasmus Solidarity Corps. Okay, Erasmus Solidarity Corps is a complementary, is not part of Erasmus Plus, but is very important and a very important EU program that I think many of you should know, especially if you're from NGOs. So I'm going to give the stage to Mausa, and thank you very much for your patience and for your attention.
Thank you very much, Einav. I'm Musa Sal from Salto Euromed. Thank you for the invitation. I see Inbar is laughing, but in this era of pronouns, I can go with the she, we can go with the he. It's not really the same, but no problem for me. I think Einav, it's the first time of meeting her online and by Zoom, so I think she thought that I was a female. But thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Moussa Sall. I work for Salto Euromed, and we are based in Paris, France. I want you to excuse my colleague, Pauline Giraudet. She was planned to do the presentation with me, but for other reasons, she didn't manage to be here. So thank you very much to the National Erasmus Office of Israel for the invitation. The idea was to do a short presentation of European Solidarity Corps and also to present Salto Euromed. And on the second part of the presentation, we will do a general framework of the European Solidarity Corps. So the idea is to present the objective of the program, the priorities, and how also to take part to this European Solidarity Corps. So Salto Euromed, Salto Euromed is part of a network called the Salto Network that were created in 2000 by the European Commission. And the idea of the Saltos is to support the implementation of the European youth programs. So we have Erasmus Plus that Einav presented and the European Solidarity Corps. So we have a focus on quality, knowledge, capacity building, and also thematic and regional development. We will see later why it is a regional issue. And we have we have 11 Saltos now since last year. We were a network of 7 Saltos, but the European Commission decided to create a few more Saltos. We have thematic Saltos, which are Saltos based on and working on the priority and the thematics of the European Union. We have also 3 regional Saltos, which Salto Euromed is part of. So we have, if you can go, yes, to the previous slides. So Salto European Solidarity Corps, which is based in Austria, is Salto dedicated to this program, so the European Solidarity Corps. We have a Salto Inclusion in Diversity in Belgium, a Salto Training and Cooperation in Germany, Salto Participation and Information. So all of these Saltos are what we call thematic Saltos, and we have cross-sectoral Saltos that are working on the youth field and also on the education field. So Salto Digital, based in Finland, is a new Salto. They are a cross-sectoral Salto, so they work on higher education and they also work on the youth field. So the 2 French Saltos, so Salto Euromed, which I represent, and Salto Green on the green development, also based in France, but in the city of Bordeaux, because in France we have 2 national agencies. We have one national agency in Paris for youth and sports, and a second national agency based in Bordeaux for education. So we have Salto Inclusion in Hungary, Salto Education in Training in Croatia, and the 2 other Saltos, and the 2 other regional Saltos, so Salto Eastern Europe and Caucasus in Poland, and Salto Southeast Europe in Slovenia. So these are the 11 Saltos. So the overall objective of Salto Euromed is to enhance cooperation between the program countries, so countries based in Europe and the South Mediterranean countries in the field of youth. I think Einav named a few of them. So the role of Salto Euromed is to implement these 2 programs, Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity Corps, in 10 countries, so Algeria, Egypt, Israel, of course, Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, Palestine, Tunisia, and we have also Libya and Syria, but for the reasons that you know, the 2 programs are quite dormant in the last few years in the 2 countries. And we have also, so the targets of Salto Euromed are NGOs, like all of the NGOs present here today, the organizations from the non-formal education field, youth workers, and also youth through the European Solidarity Corps. What is important to note is that Salto Euromed is on the non-formal education field. So we don't do vocational education training, Erasmus Plus Mundus and Jamonet, etc. This is another part of the Erasmus Plus program. So as for the European Solidarity Corps, so this is the program This program is the volunteering program for youth of the European Union. The objective of the programs are to support youngsters willing to contribute to society and willing to show solidarity. It also helps youngsters in acquiring a valuable experience in volunteering, and also give them and the organizations that they represent the possibility to be the actors of positive change. So the priorities of the program, we have a certain numbers of priorities that the program is focusing on. We have inclusion and diversity, of course, in order to give young people with fewer opportunities the opportunity to go abroad and do a volunteering program. It also supports the promotion of social inclusion, tolerance, human rights, diversity, etc. European Solidarity Corps is accessible to various formats of activities to encourage participation. Another priority of the program is environmental protection with sustainable development and climate action. So that's why Salto Green was created last year by the European Commission. We have also digital transformation. We have also a Salto dedicated to this one, which is based in Estonia, Salto Digital. And the participation in democratic life in order to encourage youngsters to take part in the democratic life. This is also one of the biggest priority of the program. So the key institutional actors of the European Solidarity Corps are national agencies. So for example, in France, we have two. In the program countries, we have national agencies, but on the partner countries, given that there are no program countries, we have regional saltos. And for example, for organizations that are based in Israel and willing to take part to the European Solidarity Corps, Salto Euromed is the reference. So we are also the national agencies that are in charge of labelization, trainings of volunteers and organization, and they also do monitoring of the volunteers in their countries. They are in charge of distributing the grants. As for regional saltos like Salto Euromed, we are in the partner regions. We are in charge of labelization, training of volunteers and organization. We also do monitoring. We do field trips to the 8 countries that we monitor in order to see how well the program are implemented in the countries. But most importantly, Salto Euromed does not distribute grants. So the general information about the European Solidarity Corps, who this program is designed for. So the program is designed for youngsters from 18 to 30 years old, and there are legally established organizations. So it is for volunteering. It can be full-time or half-time, and it is an unpaid activity. So the volunteer does not receive money for doing his volunteering. And the idea is to answer for societal challenges as cited before, and also give the youngsters an opportunity to learn and train themselves. So the thematics that the program is focusing on are education, health, youth and sports, of course, integration and support to migrants and refugees, and protection of nature. So how many types of volunteering do we have? We have 2 different types of volunteering. We have the individual one from 2 to 12 months. In some cases, it can be from 2 weeks for young people with few opportunities, and it's between 30 and 38 hours per week, and it is unpaid, of course. So this is the individual volunteering. So one volunteer from a program country or a partner country, and one youngster going to do his volunteering abroad. And we have also volunteering in teams, so a team from 10 to 40 youngsters from at least 2 different countries, and they can do volunteering in team, but it is a shorter period. It extends from 2 weeks to 2 months, and it is a solidarity activity. So as for the funding of the program, everything related to the volunteering of the youngsters are funded by the program, so the European Solidarity Corps. The transportation cost, the pocket money is given to the volunteer. Everything related to his organizational support, And there are also exceptional courses, for example, in the period of COVID-19, there were exceptional courses like the PCR tests, etc. And most importantly, the volunteering is free of charge for the youngsters. So the youngsters do not have to pay in order to do volunteering in the program countries and in the partner countries. So we have also a few specific features of the European Solidarity Corps. The idea is to focus on the quality and the support measures. So the volunteering needs to be a volunteering of quality. So we do general online trainings, we do online linguistic supports, training and evaluation cycle. So the volunteer is trained before his training and in the middle of his training. We also do his mentoring. And the idea is also to recognize his competencies, that the competencies he's going to acquire during his volunteering. So as for the support and learning part, the volunteer needs to have a mentor during his volunteering in the program or the partner countries. He needs to be mentored by an experienced youth worker in the field that he does his volunteering. And his volunteering needs also to have an impact on the environment that he's doing his volunteering in. So it needs to be a focus on solidarity, and it needs to have an impact on the local community. So the entry door for organizations, for example, in Israel, how to take part to this European Solidarity Corps is through what we call the quality label. The quality label is the entry door. So they have two roles: hosting and supporting. An organization, for example, in Israel or these 10 countries of Euromed countries, can either do hosting or supporting, and they can also do both. The most important part to notice is that the organization from the partner country, they need a partner in the program countries in order to have a quality label. So they need a partner in the European countries to have a quality label for a lead organization. So the quality label, it demonstrates the ability of an organization to undertake solidarity activities in compliance with the principle and objectives of the European Solidarity Corps. It allows the organization to take part to the European Solidarity Corps, and also it is important to note that the quality label is not an application for funding. You will receive the funding after doing a partnership with an organization based in the program countries. So in order to have access to funding, you need to have a partner in a program country holding a valid lead quality label. So the objective of the quality label and the different quality label that we have, there are several quality labels, but we are going to focus only on two: the lead quality label and the partner quality label. So the lead quality label is the label for the organizations based in the program countries, France, Germany, Belgium, for example. And we have the partner quality label for countries based in the program in the partner countries, so Israel, Palestine, etc. And we have several roles inside the partner quality label. So as I said, hosting, supporting, so hosting volunteers from abroad or supporting them, so sending Israeli volunteers in the program countries, or doing both. So in order to apply for this label, so we have a portal, so the European portal for this for the label. You need to create an EU login for your organization and obtain what we call an OID on the dedicated platform. So you will have this presentation for you later, and you will, if you need to go to the website and see the WebGate website, all of the process is explained in the website. So you need to fill in the form ESC50. It's called ESC50 QLA. It is open all year long. There is no deadline to fill it. and it is available in the tab opportunities when you go on this website. So as a partner country, you can apply for the hosting and or for the supporting roles. So the assessment method, it is done by Salto Euromed. So once you apply for the quality label, your demand is assessed by Salto Euromed here in Paris. You can submit your form online and you have different types of checks. So the eligibility, so before submitting your request, you need to check that all of the conditions are respected. If your OID is complete, you need also to your request will be assessed by a committee here, so in Salto Euromed. If some question may remain, or before, during, or after the submission of the request, there is a possibility to have an exchange via email or a Zoom call like this one, in order to answer your questions, in order also to guide you to the process of asking for the quality label. So for more information, of course, is available on the website. Thank you, Inbar, for the links. So the Salto website, the Europa Corp also website. We are going to organize a training course in Israel for youth workers that are interested in this program. It will be in 2024. The dates are to be defined. We will keep you updated for this one. And if you have any questions regarding the Salto Euromed or the European Solidarity Corps, feel free to write us, my colleague Pauline, or to our general email, and we'll be pleased to answer your questions.
Thank you so much, Musa. And I'm sorry we did meet virtually, and I assumed you were a female because in our office everyone is a female. So
No problem at all.
I'm terribly sorry, and it's wonderful to see you and hear you and to collaborate with you. And you also finished 5 minutes ahead of time, which is amazing.
Great.
So if you don't mind, we have 5 minutes for questions that Inbar or Rifa can present. If you can write in the chat. For those of you who need a break, you can take a break. And in 5 minutes, we'll also take a break, and then we'll be back here at 11 Brussels time, which is 12 Israel time. And I know that's been very difficult for some of you and caused a lot of people to have problems. So apologies for that as well on our part. So Inbar or Ifa, do we have any questions, or was the presentation so clear and insightful that there are no further questions? Let's see the chat.
Questions yet? I would love if maybe Musa could elaborate though on the quality label, how it is, how one attains it for our participants, because I have been asked about that in private.
Excuse me, if you can repeat the question.
The question was how do you could you expand more on the quality label? A lot of organizations are having trouble with understanding exactly what they need to do to get a quality label and then to take part in the Solidarity Corps.
Okay, so the quality label, first and foremost, before applying for it, you need really to check if you are eligible for the quality label. So once you have created your EU login on the website and you have obtained your OID, we have a team here in Salto Euromed that can guide you to all of the process for applying for it, and it's really open for nearly all of the NGOs and of the organization. So it's a really wide quality label. There are not a lot of principles or guidelines to apply for it. It is really easy and simple to obtain.
Thank you. So if there are no further questions, and I don't see anything in the chat now, so we're going to take a break. Thank you, Musa, again, and wonderful to meet you and see you. And thank you for the very, very elaborate presentation. So we'll all meet back here at 11 Brussels time. Central European time, which is 12 Israel time. So we have about 12 minutes break. See you all very soon. And then we'll have the presentations of the different NGOs. And Musa, I invite you to stay and see the different NGOs. I think it would be very interesting for you as well, because we are having the event on September and it could be very insightful. So thank you and see you soon. We're taking a break. Hi, everyone. Welcome back and welcome to whoever joined us now for this session. So now we're going to have back-to-back presentations of 7 different Israeli NGOs in different fields and topics that are interested in collaborating in Erasmus Plus projects and calls. So second, before we do that, I just have to share with you the wonderful collaborations here in Miro, which is really, really nice to see. So whoever isn't part of this is really welcome to join and discuss together and present yourself. Also, I want to tell you that we're going to share with you whoever is sharing their information and looking for collaborations, partnerships in the chat and in Miro, we're going to share this with everyone that registered to this event, okay? So feel free to keep sharing and engaging. And now, without further ado, I'm going to give the stage to Ms. Lior Davidi from Crembo Wings Youth Movement. So Lior, the floor is yours. And I'll share your presentation now. Set. Yes.
Okay, thank you everybody for joining me, and thank you Ina for organizing this wonderful event. My name is Lior Davidi and I work at Crembo Wings, a youth movement for children with and without disabilities, which operates in Israel, and our headquarters are based in Ramat HaSharon. My position in the youth movement is the Resource Development Coordinator, and I've been personally been involved with Erasmus Plus in the past, both in NGOs and higher education, so we can discuss more in depth later on in the breakout sessions about the involvement. So Crembo Wings' vision is creating together a meaningful place for every person. This is our motto. Just before Einav, don't pass on the next slide, please. I want to explain just briefly, what does the logo mean and what does our name mean? So Crembo Wings, what is Crembo? It's a kind of delight or chocolate, a dessert that is very popular in Israel. And the meaning in Hebrew or in English is cream inside. And you see the wings in our logo. So the meaning behind our name symbolizes that this delicate dessert, which has the cream inside, is wrapped separately, uniquely, piece by piece, because we don't have yet the machinery to wrap these special treats one by one. And this is how we also treat our youth members, with the care and a specific attention for every child and every person in our youth movement. And the wings symbolize that they can later on reach new heights and become confident through the youth movement and spread their wings. So this is the logic behind our name. Enough, please move on. So our target groups of the youth movements. As you can see, we are a youth movement, and it's a special and one-of-a-kind youth movement in Israel. It's the only youth movement actually that involves and engages children and youth between the ages of 7 to 22 with and without disabilities. We also involve youth counselors from the regular education system, and everyone has different levels of abilities and disabilities. So we don't prevent anyone from joining the youth movement. We also involve and engage our youth members' parents and their family members in the activities throughout the year, whether through the trips or through our annual inclusive summer camp. The parents are highly involved and participate in many of our activities. We also impact the local community in every locality where we operate a branch, and also impact the larger Israeli society, whether through social campaigns or outreach, through social media. And we try to include very diverse cultural and social backgrounds in Israel. This includes Jewish, Muslim, Bedouin, Jews, Christian, secular, traditional, and religious beneficiaries that are involved in our youth movement. So as you can see in this next slide, we have been established in 2002. So we bring to the table 21 years of experience. We operate in 95 branches today across Israel. Our first branch operated in Hod HaSharon, and it was established by Claudia Kobi and Adi Altshuler, our founding mothers, we can call them. Claudia Kobi is a mother of Kfir, who was back then. Today he unfortunately has passed away. He was a 3-year-old child with a disability, and he was the inspiration for this whole entire youth movement. They founded this youth movement actually so he can have friends to engage with in his community. And today we operate in 95 branches across Israel, and we impact over 9,000 children with and without disabilities. We have even 1,100 children on waiting list, and over the years we've been involving about 40,000 youth members who are today still engaged in activities and are part of our youth movement as alumni. In 2018, we were selected as a special advisor organization to the UN and in the field of inclusion of people with disabilities in informal education. So this is something that is brings to the table our expertise and added value. And we try not to leave any child behind. So we include, as I mentioned, children and youth, whether they have, regardless of their ability or disability. We try to include everyone. So our main activities include not only the ones that are presented here. We start with weekly activities. So every week we have twice a week gatherings in our branches in Israel. One is dedicated for the staff preparation and training before the activity takes place. And the other day is dedicated for the joint activities with the youth with and without disabilities. Some of the activities take place in community centers. Some take place in schools, local schools in the community in collaboration with local municipalities in Israel for 3 hours. So all of the venues are accessible, of course, and we take care of also providing access through transportation to reach the activities. Another activity, main activity, is our spring hike during Passover holiday in April. We operate delegations to Poland since 2013, up until the COVID-19 began. So we had a break between 2020, and luckily we'll have another delegation, youth delegation to Poland to see memorial sites next year. We have training seminars for youth counselors in July. We have our annual inclusive summer camp for youth members and their families during the summertime. So now we have the next one in August coming up. And we have a wonderful joint service here for children with and without disabilities, so they can assist youth during the day and in the afternoon activities and volunteer as part of their service mandatory year before the military service. Moving on, please. I would like to stress out our core values and the values that we put emphasis on when we educate our youth members during the activities. So you can see these six core values that include belonging. We put emphasis on belonging to the larger community, into a larger identity group, to become a leader in your community. So we put an emphasis on being responsible for your society, on friendship, the notion of yes, I can. We put an emphasis on to be loved and to love each other. And since we are established in Israel, of course, the sense of ahavat haaretz in Hebrew, which is the love for the country of Israel. And so we try to educate and put all of our dedication towards and all of the themes around these core values. Moving on, please, to the, can you move on to the next slide? To the opportunities that we offer you. Moving on, next. Impact circles, I can elaborate about these in our workshops. This one, please, yes. Stop on the opportunities, thank you.
And the time is up, so if you could.
So I'll just summarize it and wrap up. We are interested in sending delegations and hosting them. We have much experience in this field, and we have a knowledge center, and we would love to share our knowledge with you, our research and articles, and I will be happy to elaborate more in our breakout sessions. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Einab.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you so much. And there's much more to discuss. You can see that there's so much more information, and you're all welcome to join the personal chat with Leo later on. So now, without further ado, I'd like to invite Stella from Akim to join us and to present the wonderful Akim organization.
Hi, everyone. It's quite challenging to do it in like 7 minutes, but let's see what we can do. So I'm Stella Reicher, International Relations Coordinator at Akim Israel. It's a pleasure being here with you. So a bit about Akim. So Akim was founded in 1951. It is a national organization for people with intellectual disabilities and their families. We operate with the active participation of parents and volunteers within the Jewish and Arab sectors. Akim operates as a person-centered organization, promotes rights and works to improve the quality of life of approximately 35,000 persons with intellectual disabilities and 140,000 family members. We operate in 68 branches within 88 municipalities nationwide, and we are part of Inclusion International. Just a bit of a scenario to understand the relevance of the work that we develop in Israel. Persons with disabilities in Israel represent around 20% of the population, more than 1.5 million people. In 2020, after the pandemic, 19% of working age people with disabilities reported to have no one on whom they could rely in case of distress or in times of crisis, compared to 5% of people without disabilities. Persons with intellectual disabilities experience limitations to access education, employment, living in the community. They face attitudinal barriers, social exclusion, and discrimination that hinders their quality of life. In 2020, 57% of working age persons with disabilities were employed compared to 70% of those without. But at Akim, we worked to change this scenario. Akim recognizes the right to education, employment, living in the community as essential elements of the human life that must be ensured to everyone. So, and mostly to persons with disabilities. So among our projects, we promote inclusion in education. But how do we do that? So we engage with higher education institutions. We collaborate with the staff to define and establish a curriculum. We recruit selected students from all sectors of Israeli society, Jewish, Arab, Druze populations with disabilities to join our programs. We provide them support to fulfill their individual needs. We provide training to navigate in the campus life, and also we accompany throughout the program so they can have meaningful opportunities in employment later on. I would briefly share information of two of our programs in this field. So Musicality is a program that reinforces self-esteem and belonging while preparing students with disabilities for fulfilling employment in a variety of musical fields. The program features a diverse curriculum that bridges students' desires to be working with music and their needs for support. During the 3-year program, they experience vocal training, choir, studio recording, in addition to a comprehensive curriculum. They also receive training to navigate campus life. In the last year, they receive practical experience and they are prepared to enter the open labor market. And the second project that we are currently operating with the partnership with Levinsky Academic Center is a training program in education where Israeli youth with disabilities benefit from the opportunity to access a unique training program in education and to influence their communities. The program offers a career path while filling a critical need within the Israeli school system, trained educational staff. Students with disabilities are provided with a customized curriculum tailored to their abilities and needs, supported by social workers and professors at Levinsky College. We do believe that positive experiences and relationships with individuals with disabilities since early education can change perceptions and foster inclusion. We would like now to share a bit of this, the musical project. We're going to share with you a little video, and we're going to be very, very happy to talk to you later on to get to know you more about our initiatives.
כל הסטודנטים שנמצאים בתוכנית הם מוזיקאים בצורה כזו או אחרת. יש כאלה שממש מנגנים, יש כאלה שרק אוהבים מוזיקה.
התוכנית הזו באה בעצם לקדם ערכים של הכללה, של שייכות, לא על בסיס המוגבלות של האנשים, אלא על בסיס היכולות שלהם, הרצונות שלהם והתשוקה שלהם.
הגיעה אליי רותי רייניך והגיעה דותן סגל מהקים ישראל, והם באו עם איזשהו רעיון באמת מטורף, שיהיה פה כמו בית ספר למוזיקה לאנשים עם מוגבלות שכלית, ואמרתי להם, אנחנו מדברים על יום בשבוע, אז הם הסתכלו עליהם ואמרו לי, לא, כל יום. אז אמרתי להם, לא, זה לא יכול לקרות, כל יום. בקיצור, זה מה שקרה. ופשוט התחלנו לטוות את התוכניות האלה, וביחד אנחנו הצלחנו להרים את הפרויקט הזה שהוא באמת ייחודי ונדיר במקומותינו.
מעבר למוזיקה, יש להם בהחלט הרבה כלים של עצמאות, של ביטחון עצמי, של דימוי עצמי יותר גבוה, של באמת יכולות שנרכשות עם הזמן.
מצאתי פה חברים סטודנטים שהם מאוד מאוד אוהבים שאני על ידיהם, ואני חושב שאני מסתדר בזה. אני מאוד אוהב השראה, כי היא נותנת לי לחשוב על מה שאני רוצה להגיד ומה שיש לי להציג.
Okay, so we couldn't see the entire video, but we can share the link here on YouTube. And Stella, thank you so much for your presentation. And Stella will also be waiting for you in the private sessions after we finish all of the NGO presentations. So thank you, Akim, for all that you do. And now I want to invite from the Machshava Tova Association, Batsheva, are you with us? Shachar is the presenter. Okay, great. Shachar, great. So I'm going to share your presentation now and let you present. A moment. That.
No problem.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shachar, and I'm a youth program director in the NPO Machshava Tova, or in English, Good Thought. Machshava Tova was founded in 2003 with the primary goal of using technology to reduce social gaps and empower disadvantaged populations. In the past 20 years, we had over 100,000 participants in 20,000 different classes and workshops. We are working with different social groups in Israel periphery, such as children, youth at risk, and senior citizens, providing them with teaching, education, and digital literacy content. In light of its experience and its activities over the years, the United Nations has given Machshava Tova special advisory status. Our main objective in technology education, and now if you can move to slide 4, please. Another one, please. Thank you. Our main objective in technology educations are cultivating soft skills, fostering sense of competence, promoting a positive future outlook, and encouraging proactive social behavior within our participants. We focus mainly on academic preparation, employment-focused training, and social empowerment. Next, please. In today's talks, we'll be focusing on our children, youth programs. Another one, Einav, please. Thank you. As you can see, we have 5 main different programs for ages varying from 1st grade, preparing them to school, until 12th grade. We use technology as a tool to empower 21st century skills and prepare them for their future adults' lives. Today, we'll be focusing on the Ecotech program, which is a year-round course that targets youth between the ages 13 to 16. It combines 3 different components: STEM training, which we teach from web design to PC technician, business entrepreneurship, and internship and community involvement. At the end of the year, each team has to develop solutions to social problems they identify in their environment. I don't know if you're aware of this, but a few years ago, it was revealed that there were several kindergartens in Jerusalem where the teacher abused the babies and children. One of our Ecotech participants, his name is Aviatar, had a sister in one of those kindergartens, and he used this event to inspire his team's final project. The team developed a bracelet which combined Arduino technology and code that can monitor various vitals and alert parents about any extreme changes. During 2023, we had over 120 participants in groups in Ecotech course. We are very proud of the fact that this year we were able to increase the number of girls participating in Ecotech and reach an all-time high of 40%. We recently had our closing ceremony this year. We just had it last week. The ceremony was held in 2 different languages, Arabic and Hebrew, to include all the participants and encourage diversity. Our winning team this year was a group of 4 girls from Neot Tamar, a high school intended for girls who left ultra-Orthodox educational institution due to the difficulties to acclimate in regular settings. Winning the competition was an extraordinary step for these girls' personal development. And after winning this first place, they will embark next year on a study delegation to London. Machshava Tova has many partners in Israel as well as abroad. Among them are governments, ministries such as healthcare, science and technology, social equality, and more. We are also working with different philanthropic funds and companies in the business sector. I am here today to share the amazing work Machshava Tova initiated through the last 20 years of work. We are open to any collaboration, whether it's hosting physical or online tours, financial aid, or sponsorships. We would love to meet you in our Zoom room, where Ronit Ben Yashar, who is also here today, our CEO, will be waiting for you to answer any questions or any ideas for collaborations. Thank you so much for your time, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shachar. That was very inspiring, and I invite all of you to also join Machshava Tova and think about how we can have more inclusion and digitalization for all of our audiences. And now I invite Young Business Leadership to present their presentation. Yes,
That's us.
that's
Hi,
it.
everyone. It's really a pleasure to meet you. Einav, it's on you, the presentation, correct? Taina?
No, we
Okay.
see, we hear you.
Okay, perfect. So hi, everyone. I'm really excited to meet you. My name is Sarai Sarfolk, and here's
Adar Shoval.
and we both work in the YBL, Young Business Leadership Organization. Whew. We are a public benefit corporation. Just a second, you know. We are a public benefit corporation that aims to reduce social and financial gaps through employment development initiatives. And we would like to start with introduce to you some of our participants. Now it's the next slide. So we're going to start with Sasha. She's one of 120 beneficiaries, as you can see. She is attending a youth village in the 9th grade. Then we have Itzhak, who is 17 years old, a bit older, attending a Last Chance High School. Both Itzhak and Sasha are participating in our pre-employment program, the youth program, which I'm lucky enough to manage in the past 3 years. We're going to move on to Marwa. She is 37, an Arab businesswoman from the south of Israel. And Chagit, thank you. She is an ultra-Orthodox businesswoman. Both Marwa and Chagit are part of our program for small business owners, which Adar is managed in the past 5 years. And as you can see, we're both here in YBL a few years. We're going to move to Maor. He's 30, currently holds BA in education, was in at-risk youth. And the last one, Alam from the Arab Society, holds BA in computers. And until a weekend ago, and perhaps 2 weeks, was unemployed. Both Alam and Maor are part of our special program into high-tech industry. We're going to move on to the next one. So just a sec, thanks. The employment is perfect. Our main focus, as you can understand, is employment. We believe in it as a massive tool and relevant tool. Thank you. So we started working with two major populations, the small business owners and the at-risk youth. And along time and speciality, we understand that in order to create meaningful and relevant impact, we need to start working with more population. So we started working with the young adults and the underrepresented population in high-tech. All of our programs together brings tools and skills in order to create social mobility. In the end of the day, most of our beneficiaries not sure exactly what their dreams are and what is the best way to achieve them. And that's what we do as part of our program.
Thank you. So what we're all about, or what's our added value? Our programs in the whole works on three main pillars. The first one is professional. Just a second, Einav, you're going too fast. The first one is professional training and concrete content, and we call it in Hebrew maybe tachlis. So we can find business management workshops when we work with our business owners, and we can find in there SWOT analysis, finance, sales. And if we talked about Marwa earlier, she was able to increase their profits in 40% by going through those workshops. We also do professional training, such as digital marketing, website building, phone technicianing. And lastly, we have our entry-level training for high-tech, as in CSM and in QA, and in, and if we talked about Alam in the previous slide, he was able, as I said, to start working Pagaya in high-tech business in Israel just 3 weeks ago. The next pillar is the power skills, or if you might know them as soft skills. We understand that we cannot only bring professional tools. If we want our beneficiaries to take the very significant impact on themselves, we have to give them their personal tools as well. And that's where we talk about time management, presentation skills, employment tools, communication skills, and much more. And we talked about Yitzhak. He was one going through those workshops. He was one of his group leaders in presenting their program and the things they did during the year to their school principal. And you can only imagine how this affects his way and how he sees himself. And the last one is our tri-sector collaboration. YBL as a whole brings together the three sectors of the business sector, public sector, and the nonprofit sector. And we'll go more deeply in the next slide. So as we said, we bring together the civil society and the business sector. In the end, we want to create meaningful meetings or experiences that would not be able to happen otherwise. And if it's through mentoring, lectures, role models, and much more, we work with more than 50 businesses in Israel. We are trying, just a second, sorry. We do try to bridge between the sectors and give the business sector a chance to really channel their capabilities and energies to support social change. And that's what we do, I think, very well. And the last one, what we propose is creating meaningful and impactful experiences to expand the beneficiary's personal and professional toolbox focused on employment. And I'll say more that we're really open to ideas. We really want to find the right partners to make something significant in the employment field and to help our beneficiaries achieve their employment dreams. And we'll really be happy to talk to you later on how to do that.
And we hope to see you in our Zoom meeting later. Thank you.
So YBL giving real opportunities for employment and employment skills, and also helping young business owners, which is amazing. Join them later for personal meetings. And now, without further ado, I will give the stage to Rom from IGY, Israel LGBTQ+ Youth and Young Adults Organization. I think one of a kind in the world. So Rom, if you're with us.
Yes, I know. Thank you very much, and great to see you and meet everyone. So I'll talk about IGY, the Israeli LGBTQ Youth and Young Adults Organization. So IGI today is the largest LGBTQ organization in Israel, and our focus is on youth and young adults. This is a very rare and unique model, joining between the LGBTQ organizations and the Israeli concept of youth movements. It's not Israeli, it wasn't invented in Israel, but it's a very common thing in Israel. So I'll tell you a bit about LGBTQs, youth in the situation and the atmosphere that they grow up in Israel. As you know, as you might know, I think it's worldwide, LGBTQ youth suffer from discrimination, suffer from bullying. And in Israel, we have our own institute inside IGI also researching on this subject. And we know that LGBTQ youth in high school suffer 3 times more violence than their peers in their classroom. The word homo is still the most common curse in schools. So these youth might be alienated from their family, might suffer from social solitude, might deal with anxiety or depression. And this is kind of the situation that LGBTQ youth start their life in. You can click, so I'll move to the next slide.
You want to see the video now?
Yeah, so we have opened, IGI is 20 years old, and I think we'll start with a small video kind of showing a brief about our activities, and then we'll elaborate a bit more.
לגדול בחדרה, זה חשוב שתהיה קבוצה להט"בית.
דימונה בכללי כעיר, קצת קשה לגדול שם כנער או נערה מהקהילה.
האמת שלא דיברנו על זה בבית ספר, כי פשוט זה היה טאבו, זה עניין כזה שלא היו מדברים עליו, כי למדתי בחינוך חרדי.
ראיתי איזה פרסומת באינסטגרם, והייתה בערבית. הרגשתי שסוף סוף אני מצאתי מישהו שמבין אותי.
המורה שלי גילתה שהלכתי למצעד, אז במשך חודש היה לנו פעולות נגד הקהילה הגאה, כאילו בכוונה.
כשהגעתי לאיגי בעצם משהו הרגיש לי מאוד אמיתי, מאוד מחבק.
איגי זה בעצם הקהילה שלי. זה כאילו מקום שאני הכי מרגישה בטוחה בו.
אז פתאום הם חשופים לנוער שהוא כמוהם, ויש אפשרות לדבר, להיחשף, וזה משהו חשוב.
לא ידעתי את הגודל של הארגון הזה, וכמה זה דבר שבאמת כאילו נחוץ לכל כך הרבה אנשים בכל כך הרבה מקומות.
כאילו לי זה הציל את שנות התיכון.
ואף אחד לא רוצה להיכנס לבית הזה שהילד חווה בו התעללות פיזית או מינית. איגי אומרים, לא רק שאנחנו ניגע בזה, אנחנו ניכנס לעובי הקורה, ואנחנו גם נשפץ את הקורה מבפנים. יפה שלי!
להרגיש שאתה מתפתח ואתה לומד על הקהילה, ויש לך את הסביבה הזו שתומכת, ושאתה יודע שאתה יכול לדבר שם על מה שאתה רוצה.
אז איגי באמת חשוב שיתפתח בכל הערים בארץ.
ובעיניי צריך שכמעט בכל עיר חרדית יהיה משהו כזה.
בקהילה הערבית יש אנשים שבאמת צריכים את זה.
תרומה איגי תעזור בזה שכאילו איגי יוכל להגיע להרבה יותר נשים.
לגדול בביטחון.
לגדול באהבה.
לגדול בגאווה.
כאן.
כאן.
כאן ובכל מקום.
Okay, thank you enough. You can move to the next slide. So, as the participants said in the video, we want IGI to be relevant to every youth and young adult in Israel, no matter where she or he is born in. Most of the LGBTQs are not born in the center of Israel, in Tel Aviv, which is known worldwide for being such a LGBTQ haven, let's say, but we don't want them to have to move to Tel Aviv in order to feel safe. So we have groups all over Israel, more than 120 groups from Kiryat Shmona to Eilat, serving more than 4,000 participants. And if we think about teachers going through workshops and parents and students that we meet, we have a range of 45,000 people that IGI works with every year. And most of our activity is outside of Tel Aviv, so that every youth or young adult could have only a bus drive away, a safe space where she or he can talk, ask questions, meet a role model, have guidance. We have also groups focused on special identities, but before that, we'll say that IGI is also just a regular youth movement in the fact that we do trips and overnight seminars and summer camps And we talk about during these meetings, weekly meetings, this is a social space. We talk about diversity and equality and social justice and prepare these young adults and youth to become leaders in their own society and change their school, their close environment, and their town. So you can move another one forward. And we have special groups for unique identities suffering from multi-marginalized situations, such as trans, youth with disabilities. Click another one, please. Alwan, our Arab-speaking activity, and groups for religious and ultra-Orthodox young adults and youth, which suffer from complex life situations and need discretion and security, and of course, also talking their own language. Another click. We also have gap year programs, 18 years old volunteering, going to live in Israel's geosocial periphery, and local communities trying to create an actual life for LGBTQs outside of the center of Israel. Click, please. So the last thing I'll mention is Marsha, our vocational college. This is the first LGBTQ vocational college in the world. We've noticed the problems with young adults from the LGBTQ community integrating into the job market because of sometimes it's not a safe space for them. They have problems going to academia or high academies because of their exams from high school, being bullied or not having able to use services of school like bathroom. They would just not come, and this will affect the rest of their life. So we've opened a vocational college giving training in beauty professions, in online marketing, in accounting, and other professions, and working with employees to integrate them into the job market. And so we also have a research institute doing research about LGBTQ youth and young adults, the only research institute in Israel talking about this. And we also have workshop centers going into schools, municipalities, and business sector and talking about these subjects. And we are looking for partnerships in any one of these opportunities, whether they're vet or youth activity. Sorry, my time is up, I think, so I'll stop.
So thank you so much, Rom, and such an important cause and so much impact. So thank you again, Iggy. And now I invite Mamanet, Mothers in Catchy Ball League. So we have here with us Ifat. Are you here with us? Great.
Yeah.
So you wanted to start off with a video, right? So we're going to share a short video. Yes.
אז בוא תראה איך עושים את זה נכון, נותנת לך מתנה, שיעור ראשון, אני עושה את זה שנים, אז תעמוד ותן כבוד ויאללה לעבוד. יש עכשיו ציבור חזק שהבנות עושות.
But
Yeah, you can leave the voice, it's okay. Leave the audio. אני לוקחת את הזהב ובדרך לא סופרת, אני לא סופרת, אני בשיא שלי ולא עוצרת,
hey.
Well, did you feel it? Did you feel the energy out there? Did you see all the mothers playing around with each other, each team? Did you see the crowd, the families, the children cheer their mother out? This is Mamanet. Every mother can be there. Every mother can play it. I'm Ifat from Mamanet, and here with me Pazit and Ofra, the founder and the active chairman of Mamanet. So let's see what is Mamanet all about. Next one, please. Yes. So Mamanet is a social sport movement for mothers. It's actually the only league for mothers in the world. There's no peer experience needed to join in. It's actually the most feminine sports practice worldwide, which is based on school affiliation circles. That's what we saw in the movie, the first one here. We promote social change for women and girls, transform women into a leading and influential community and role model for their daughter. You can see it all that Mamanet is beyond the net. Our vision is that every mother will have the opportunity to participate in the catchy ball game with a supportive group of women belonging to community and experience daily the feeling of victory, individually and collectively. Well, the magic of Mamanet is spreading very, very quickly. It's based in Israel, it's founded in Israel, but it's worldwide right now. That's why we established the International Federation for Mamanet in the world, which is called MIFA. Till now, there is 18 countries playing under MIFA with thousands of players. Because mothers bring families and families build community. The communities make the change. MIFA got a very unique model to help every local partner to make it in his way. We got Mamanet Academy for professional training for coaches, referees, registries, captain, and league manager. We got supportive system, and last but not least, we got research institutes to help and support our professional activity. We are in the process of obtaining consult status in the European Union as well. In terms of, could you click one click right now? Yes. In terms of Erasmus, we're talking about activities of vet provider. No, just one back. Yes, thank you. We're talking about the vet provider, the youth, the Key Action 1, Mobility, Key Action 2 project. And here we can go move on. We would love to meet partners that Women's Empowerment Organization, Health Sport Awareness Organization, University to Promote Research, and Professional Support Training School. But we are open up to every partner that the development of feminine leadership through game sport is in his soul. So you're most welcome to our Zoom room later on. The opportunity is to join MIFA, to establish local league in collaboration with municipal representatives, to receive MIFA professional training and support, to participate in continental and international tournaments, and participate in international delegation, and actually to be a part of amazing global Mamanet community. So join us to our vision to make Mamanet accessible to every mother in the world. And just to feel the experience, we got last movie.
ממאנט זה דרך חיים, וממאנט שינתה לי את החיים. אני עצמאית יותר. אני עברתי שינוי, התחלתי להעריך יותר את הזמן איכות שלי.
ממאנט זו קהילה של עשרות אלפי אימהות, שבעצם משחקות משחק שהוא כדורעף שמותאם לאימהות. הקבוצות של האימהות נבנות סביב בית הספר של הילדים. זה מתאים לכל אישה. באמת, כל אימא יכולה. ופתאום פגשתי עולם חדש, שאפשר למצות את עצמך, ואפשר לעשות למען עצמך, גם בלי לפגוע בקריירה, בילדים, בבית. נשים זה משפט קבוע שלהם, אין לי זמן. ממאנט שמה את האימא במרכז המגרש. בעצם האימא הפכה להיות כוכבת, והמשפחה היא מעודדת. כשאני הצטרפתי לממאנט, כל הבית עשה שינוי. הבת שלי נחשפת לזה, והיא אומרת שאני ההשראה שלה. פתאום הספורט הופך להיות משהו מרכזי בבית. אני הפכתי לאמא טובה יותר. אני מהווה דוגמה לילדים שלי. הם באים לעודד, והם תומכים. זה היה כמה ימים אחרי היום הולדת. לא רוצה כלום, לא כסף, לא מתנות, לא כלום. אני רוצה שאמא תצטרף לממאנט, והיא עשתה איזושהי הפתעה, הלכה ונרשמה. זה בעצם לא עוד חוג. ממאנט זה קהילה. המארג הזה של החברות שנוצר יצר משהו אחר. אנחנו קבוצת תמיכה לכל דבר. וסביב הפעילות הזאת יש אין סוף פעילויות חברתיות, התנדבותיות, קהילתיות. יש לנו בכפר הוסטל, בית בחורש. בעלי ואני החלטנו שאנחנו רוצים לתת להם מקום גם, כן? ולעשות להם אימונים. כל הזמן מרגש, כל אימון מחדש. זה פשוט שם, וכל רעיון וכל דבר שאת רוצה לעשות, את יכולה לעשות. היה טורניר, מצד ימין הייתה קבוצה יהודית, ומצד שמאל הייתה קבוצה של בית חנינה. רק רשת עם חורים הפרידה בין שתי הקבוצות. חייכו אחת לשנייה, כיף שזה היה ביניהם, ואז הבנתי ממאנט. זה מעבר לרשת. זו הגדולה של ממאנט, שהיא בעצם עוצמתית, היא מגיעה לכל מקום. זה משהו שבהרבה הרבה יותר מהמשחק עצמו. זה שדרג אותי כאדם. השתניתי. פשוט השתניתי.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. We're
Thank
looking
you.
forward to meet you in the Zoom meeting.
Thank you so much. That was very inspiring and so important. Mothers are the base for a lot, communities and schools and education. So thank you. And without further ado, I want to invite Bar Kaima to present their presentation. Louise Geva, are you here with us? Louise?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Floor is yours.
I'm unmuted.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Louise from Bar Kaima, a community-based nonprofit organic agricultural farm, which provides a salaried, occupational, and alternative educational framework for youth aged 14 to 18 who are at risk of dropping out of school or who are not part of the formal educational system. It was founded 8 years ago, and to date, 140 young people at risk have participated in the program. The goal of Bar Kaima is to reroute the course of teenagers who are at risk, ultimately ensuring their place in the normative adult world, and to be a catalyst of change in the way educational and social systems define the individual, particularly young people such as these who are more likely than their peers to have difficulty in transitioning successfully to adulthood and experience a negative health and life outcomes. Bar Kaima offers young people the opportunity to learn through social experience as they work alongside adult role models who encourage them to take on responsibilities, to initiate, and to develop the creativity that is required in agricultural work, including coping with the goals provided by nature itself. In the past few years, there's been a growing trend in the referrals to Bar Kaima of young people who have severed ties with their social and family relationships. They're experiencing emotional crises and may be questioning their sexual identity and gender. In addition, the period of COVID has increased their feeling of isolation and separation. Bar Kaima responds to their need for compassionate and candid one-to-one conversations, interaction with their peers, and mediation with surrounding authorities, specifically their parents and their schools. The youth who are referred to Bar Kaima have been repetitively evaluated, diagnosed, and counseled by various professionals in the educational, welfare, and health systems. This has been their contact with the adult world. At the farm, they work alongside adults who are non-judgmental, who do not represent any official body, and who are intuitive to their fears, needs, and interests. This is where the rehabilitative work takes place, out in the fields, in free discussions around the table during meals and breaks, and in interpersonal dialogues, where feedback on their behavior is discussed, not as in treatment, but as it relates to their work on the farm. In addition, a group dynamic develops between the youths themselves as they gel into a team throughout the year. The organizational goals of Bar Kaima are to provide youth at risk with an alternative framework to the educational system, which does not provide them with a response to their needs, and consequently they find themselves outside of the normative framework with no daily schedule, no social milieu, and no prospects for a significant change in their situation. We encourage development of the tools required to incorporate youth at risk into their family, school, and peer groups by providing a safe environment where they're free to express themselves. We facilitate communication with parents, and when required, we mediate between youth and family members. We have developed a discourse with authorities in the surrounding municipalities and include them in the processes of Bar Kaima. We further strategic cooperation with other nonprofits and organizations that specifically address the subject of young people, sexual identity and gender, mental health, and special needs. We prepare youth for the future, which includes learning how to take and give instructions, understanding the complexities of running a business, and knowing one's rights as an employee. Bar Kaima believes that education for life skills takes place through doing. Participants in the program take part in all the tasks on the farm, from preparing the earth for planting to the marketing of weekly boxes of agricultural produce. Agricultural work bears fruit and produces evident results in the field, as well as in the young people who work in the fields. Next slide, please. Personal growth at Bar Kaima takes place through the establishment of a daily schedule, the encouragement of initiative and creativity, communication skills, life skills, and a feeling of self-worth. providing the opportunity to use skills that are not developed or recognized in the educational system, arousing an awareness of personal worth from being an influential part of a team, reducing the fear of the future through training and skills that are required for the working world, facilitating an open dialogue between parents and their children through a joint understanding of the present situation and future choices and possibilities. Kaima was founded on the community-supported agriculture model, a system that connects producers and consumers through subscriptions to the harvest of a certain farm. However, as the actual work on the farm is the means for the rehabilitation of youths at risk, at our farm, the produce yielded from the films is an auxiliary benefit, and therefore the customers who purchase the weekly produce become partners in the project, as the income from the sale of the boxes contributes to the running of the farm. To encourage the communication between our youths and their families, we have developed a project called An Educational and Communal Venue for Families. This project helps families develop the skills they need to become a supportive and inclusive family unit. Strong and confident families of youth at risk can influence the way in which communities and community institutions respond to their needs. The impact of Bar Kaima is demonstrated in different perspectives or spheres. At any given time, it provides an affirmative response to 10 young people, their immediate families, and the surrounding departments of education and social services. However, the results can also be measured through the influence of the participants on others in the life circles from which they were previously alienated. Inevitably, agricultural work improves these young people's physical and mental well-being. Our partners are the Departments of Welfare and Education in the rural area of Emek Hefer and the surrounding municipalities who refer young people to Bar Kaima. In particular, the Center for the Family in Emek Hefer develops projects together with us, and as mentioned, we are supported by the clients who purchase the weekly boxes of produce. We're looking for cooperation with organizations that are concerned with alternative education, education through doing, and organizations that can do exchange programs with us. Our CEO, Rami Erez, will be in the Zoom room to meet with you later.
עינב, לא שומעים אותך. Can't hear you.
Sorry, thank you so much. Someone has muted me, didn't notice. So Yuval, the floor is yours, Israel Center on Addiction.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. My name is Yuval. I'm Research Development Associate at ICA, the Israel Center on Addiction. I cannot see the slide.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm speaking to you on behalf of ICA, the Israel Center on Addiction. I'm very happy to be here and present your addiction prevention and treatment program among adolescents and young adults. Next slide, please. Before I get into the project, I just want to give you an overview on addiction and mental health, which are inseparable. So some consider it the 21st century epidemic or pandemic worldwide. You can see the numbers. The most common health disorder in the world, mental health, and addiction is a part of it. In Israel, 1 in 7 adults struggle with addiction. The cost to the Israeli economy is staggering 700 billion shekels. Next slide, please. Addiction affects everyone. It cuts across socioeconomic backgrounds, cultural background, age groups. Of course, some populations are more at risk, such as adolescents, underprivileged populations, and adolescents. Thank you. Next slide. Now about ICA, we have a short video explaining our operation.
Yes. Moment. Great. Right.
What does the Israel Center on Addiction do? Policy, promoting legislative change to create a reform in the field of addiction. This will enable accessible and affordable treatment for all those who seek it. Research. Our research department has amassed data on addiction in Israel. We've enlisted pro bono partners to help us produce groundbreaking research for the first time in Israel. Training. ICA has become the national training center for the treatment of addiction and prevention. It offers 2 tracks, an intensive 2-year postdoctoral fellowship training clinicians for addiction treatment. Our goal is to create a cohort of 250 specialists who will enter the public healthcare system and become change agents in the field of addiction. We offer various short-term training tracks. Over the past 3 years, we have trained over 5,000 relevant people from all walks of society. Treatment. Our clinic treats 400 patients at any given time. We track every patient for a 2-year follow-up post-treatment. Our success rate in treatment is over 72%, higher than any other mental health disorder in Israel. The idea was to create a prototype, a model clinic which would eventually be replicated by our national healthcare providers. Prevention. ICA has developed Israel's first school addiction prevention program. This is a weekly intervention program over the course of 2 years, reaching over 50,000 students to date. This is one of Israel's most effective school intervention programs and has decreased use of substances, harmful behaviors and screen time in a drastic manner. Together, we are spearheading the treatment and prevention of addiction in Israel and promoting the mental health and resilience of our society.
Great.
I hope you could follow. That's our activity. We're very interdisciplinary. We were founded in 2018 to promote addiction care in Israel. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide again. There's still the video playing in the background enough. Okay, so COVID-19 was a big catalyst for youth mental health and addiction in general. You can see the data, the rise in mental health disorder symptoms and in substance abuse. Next slide. So more specifically about addiction, we conducted ICA research among high schools in Israel, from all sectors of Israeli society, of course. You can see the worrying data, 25% then reported drinking several times during weekdays. And the average time on screen use was 8 hours, which is a lot. Next slide. Here is the glimpse on our effectiveness of our intervention program. So you can see the right graph shows the reduction in symptoms compared to the control group, which are adolescents who didn't join our program. So you can see the positive effect on the symptoms. Next slide. Okay, so the WHO found out that early intervention treatment is the most cost-effective way to prevent further mental health worsening, and also that by promoting mental health and well-being among youth, we have the greatest potential to actually reduce the prevalence of addiction rather than scare the adolescents about how terrible addiction is. Also, Gabor Mata said addictions are like painkillers for emotional distress. We cannot separate mental health from addiction. Next slide, please. So a program targets communities as a whole, so not only adolescents and young adults who struggle or at risk of struggling with addiction, but also family members, caregivers, and local practitioners and therapists. Next slide. Our program goals are first and foremost prevent and reduce substance and behavioral addiction, create a replicable model in building emotional resilience, and support families and communities. Next slide. We operate in various domains: research, training, clinical treatment, prevention, awareness, and policy. And we would love to collaborate on any of our domains, specifically research, clinical treatment, education, prevention, and so on. I would like to elaborate further that when I meant addiction, I mean both behavioral addictions such as porn, gambling, or screen use, and substance abuse or addictions for drugs, alcohol, and prescription drugs. Thank you very much, and would like to meet you in our waiting room and provide more information and collaborate with you. We can't hear you now.
Thank you so much, Yuval. And now I am happy to invite a new dawn in the Negev. Jamal, are you with us?
Yes, I am with you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Floor is yours.
Okay, first I'm really delightful to be here, and thank you so much for the invitation, and also I'm really happy to be and to collaborate to work with you as well in the future. My name is Jamal, and I'm the director of a new dawn organization that actually promote shared society and coexistence among the Negev. I will go through the presentation here quickly. We are a community actually based Bedouin organization, Jewish center organization that works since 2009. And we are working on strengthening the Bedouin society in the Negev with the, of course, focus of quality and improving the education system and culture in the Bedouin community in the Negev. A little bit about the Bedouin community in the Negev. There are, of course, there are minority within the Arab minority in Israel. And actually we basically based on the periphery of Israel and southern of Israel. And there's, of course, a huge gap exists between, of course, the great potential of the Bedouin community and the society in Israel and comparing to the Israeli society as well, because, of course, it has a unique black socioeconomical parameter or sectors. Our vision, of course, is like, as I said, is really to bring the Bedouin society that could be connected to itself and also to help the Bedouin community to get to the global world from equal and self-confidence position, which is very important that we want to take this minority group to the having to play a role in that position. I think, as I mentioned before, of course, like the Bedouin society is very young society. It's almost above about 80% from the society from the Bedouin in the Negev, they're under the age of 35. And of course, one of the major things, of course, like the socioeconomical status, they are the low socioeconomical status, lacking of course many investment and from like to get integrated within the Israeli society. And we are actually taking the role, taking this huge population, young adults and young teenagers, to get them tools to be integrated to the entire Israeli society. And we are working in cultural cohesion and cultural diversity and so on. I will get back to you, of course, in the future. Our mission, as I said before, is to give them the tools, to give the Bedouin society itself the confidence, especially for the youth and the young adults, to give them to be part of like how they could like expose them and giving them tools to deal with the future and taking responsibility, taking leadership, and also making a change within themselves. We are talking about like, we have, of course, a strategy plan. Our organization operating over 14 years from now, and we have a strategic plan how to do that, developing community based across identity, friendship, and solidarity, deepening long-term partnership at the level of civil society as well, establishments, academic businesses, and increasing the variety of themselves capability made available to young Bedouin to make them much more visible. I think we do have like, I think throughout our social, our theory of change, of course, I think it's important that the youngest will dream and to make their future, to change their future that they want to change, and we will help them to develop a practical plan to fulfill their dreams, and of course many others they will follow their success. This is our theory, and I think we, as I said before, the whole Bedouin society is like to be connected, to be strong enough, to be confident in order to get them the tools to be player in the global and the local, of course, ones. And UDON, of course, programs, we have we developed very huge programs to campaign between knowledge and giving the young adults knowledge and skills to promote entrepreneurship to change within the society. I think we have a Secure Future program that deals with young adults and youth at-risk program for giving them tools and training and courses for like enhancing their employments and also giving them skills how to deal with the employment market as well. We have a lot of experience on that field. If you want really like to share with us and your experience, we are very welcome. You are very welcome to join us as well in this field. We do a lot of musical and art as well programs. We have been like developing programs with art and music. We are now operating with Bezalel University in Jerusalem that we are teaching young Bedouin females along with Ofakim, crossed by the cities just behind them in the Negev area, learning them, teaching them art from 9th grade, and they will continue until they will finish high school, 12th grade, and hopefully they will get access Bezalel and becoming the students of art at Bezalel University in Jerusalem. We work a lot on shared society. We really developed a program of bringing people from the area and making diversity groups and dialogue groups between young and of course young adults and older people to make the relationship as much as better, as strong as well as strong enough for making the change that they want, that we believe in that, of course. And I think we collaborative. I think we are really honored like to become a counselor. We received the counselor status as well in the United States, an economic and social committee, and it's a privileged status that gives us to share our experience so far with the entire world. And we are a member, of course, with Erasmus Plus. We have been experienced a lot with exchanges. We sent many Bedouin youth in delegations and environment and conferences or in many kinds of. We also received volunteers from Europe to volunteer with us for 1 year, European Solidarity Corps. And we are cooperating with the US Embassy, and we are a member of course, ULAM coalitions. We are working as an international development organization, also helping the entire world by providing programs and projects in different countries who need it. And we actually collaborated in Uganda and Kenya. We have also some project that Bedouin people from the community serves as volunteers in that area. We also having so much huge network in the world, and our really goals is really to bring those society to become a player in the international world. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm really looking forward to collaborate in the future.
Thank you, Jamal, and thank you to the New Dawn in the Negev that really sees the Bedouins and their needs, and especially the youth, which is most of the population. So thank you so much. You'll be waiting later in the private sessions. And now I give the stage to School of Peace. Roy Zilberg, you have the stage. Wait, no, this is you. Roy, are you with us?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Very well.
Should I start?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're not too tired. We are almost the last one, so stick it up. We can do it. I'm Dr. Roy Zilberg, the director of the School for Peace, which is a very special organization, and you will get to know us now. We are a part of a very special community, Wahat El Salam Neve Shalom. This community is the only place where Jews and Palestinians choose to come and live together. Should I say when you need to change the slide? Can you change the slide? Thank you.
Yes.
So it's the only place where Jews and Palestinians chose to come and live together, and the School for Peace is a part of this community, which is responsible to influence and to show this alternative to the outside of the village, to the outside society. We are experts, and we are a thematic organization on the issue of Jewish and Palestinian relations. We have a wide array of activities. Most of them fall under either higher education or vocational training or youth activities. What is important to understand is the context under which we work. In this context, maybe you all know, but the relations between Jews and Palestinians in Israel and in the region is very complicated, very complex, and we're all the time on the verge of violence. Even now, as we speak, there is some kind of fighting happening in the West Bank, for example, or in the region. So this very much influences our activities. And as a very veteran organization working since 1978, we are well aware of all those influences. Can you change the slide, please? Okay, as I mentioned before, we have a connection to youth work. So in 2022, we had 1,100 participants, 400 of which are under the age of 30. They participated in our university courses or our youth workshops or other activities that are meant to inspire dialogue between Jews and Palestinians. In the field of higher education, we worked in several universities, such as Tel Aviv University, Hebrew, Ben Gurion University, Rupin Academic Call Center, and Betzalel. And what we did there are academic courses that are focused on deep dialogue that is connected to the identities of the students and how those group identities connect to each other and influence one another. In the field of vocational training, we had 3 trainings in 2022. We did a translators course between Hebrew and Arabic. We did a facilitators course for activities, joint activities of Jews and Palestinians, and we did tour guide courses for how to incorporate another narrative into the tours of that are happening on the ground. Can we change the slide? What is our role? What we consider our role is to show that there is an alternative to the very complex and violent reality we are living in, and that communication, intercultural relation, inclusion, equality would all be different, as we show in School for Peace activities and in the community that we present. Can you change the slide, please? Our disciplines, like we had the course in the nursing department in Tel Aviv University. We have a course in the psychology department in Ben Gurion University. This is happening by the students doing a deep dialogue of identities and how their identities relate to one another in connection to the disciplines they are learning. If it's architecture, psychology, education, nursing, whatever. For most students, this is the first time they really talk to the other side. And it's something that higher education system in Israel is working on to improve this situation. And we are very veteran experts on this issue. Can we change the slide? We also have let's change the slide. We're running out of time. We're doing 3 methods in our activities. We're interested in taking part in Erasmus Plus because we're looking for recognition for our participants and graduates for their peace work and their involvement in inclusion, equality, and other social issues. We want to and maybe we want to develop new methods, new capacities in how higher education is dealing with intercultural issues, how vocational training is dealing with inclusion issues and other social influences on those parts. Let's meet some of our graduates. If we will be doing youth work, then Sima is a very great graduate of us that did the facilitators course, and she's an educational activist that has done an amazing project that present the names, the old names of Jaffa before 1948. They had the streets of Jaffa had Arabic names, and now they have only Hebrew names. Okay, I think my time's up.
Yes, thank you, Roy, for being so punctual. And thank you for your very important cause and organization. And I hope that many will come and hear more about it soon, because we have one last NGO, last but not least.
We will be waiting.
Yes, curtain call, theater, community, and society. Ifat Bachar, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much.
The stage is yours, last but not least.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Ifat Bachar, and I'm the founder and CEO of Curtain Call Theater Community Society. Curtain Call empowers individuals from across the social spectrum to come together. We use community-based theater to break down social barriers, bridge community gaps, and overcome personal challenges. Curtain Call works with all walks of Israeli diverse society, giving a voice, a stage, and a constructive outlet for self-expression to those who might not otherwise be heard. I'm proud to say that we operate 65 groups in more than 30 cities and towns in the geographic and social periphery in Israel. In our work, we focus on 3 circles of influence. Firstly, the personal. We're using theater and acting to boost self-confidence, self-reliance, and life skills in order to strengthen different life areas, such as family, community, education, and employment. Our second focus is group empowerment. We increase the participant's sense of belonging by creating a stage performance based on local and social issues. Our third focus is community empowerment. The original performance that we create with a group fosters eye-opening dialogue, pushes aside stereotypes, and builds genuine bonds of understanding and friendships among the men and women participating. In order to achieve these crucial goals, we have built 4 main programs. The first is community-based theater for strengthening the social periphery in Israel. The second is connecting theater. These are community-based theater meetings designed to create dialogue and strengthen social cohesion in Israel. Women theater is an empowerment and leadership program for women, so important in Israeli society today. And our fourth and most exciting program trains participants, men and women, to become community-based theater groups leaders and prepares them to become key players in the informal education system within their communities. Based on our 11 years of experience, I'm happy to say that more than 70% of our participants in our groups have found employment that matches their skills and potentials and have boosted their social and economic mobility. Now, as many of you may know, Arab society in Israel is suffering from sharp increase in violence. This has an immediate impact on their sense of belonging and make it more and more difficult for them to share a common social vision. In an effort to reverse this disturbing trend, the Israeli government is taking several steps, among them, a plan to boost employment. And today, I'm proud to be able to share with you that Curtain Call has been selected by the Israeli Ministry of Economy and Labor to be part of innovative national employment program. As part of our training program for community-based theater group leaders and facilitators, and in cooperation with the government's Innovation in Employment Plan, we devised and have already implemented a special new program for young people aged 17 to 24 from Arab and Bedouin society. These young people who are currently unemployed or working in temporary jobs are being trained for work in group guidance in informal education. Now, I know you are probably asking yourselves, what theater has to do with employment? Well, our work shown us that when you know how to work with people who are not actors and enable them to create and perform an original play based on local issues, you empower them, give them hope, and teach them the life skills necessary to become leaders and make a change in their communities. Curtain Call has the ability to and the experience to integrate two separate solutions into one, employment and education. In light of the success of our program, we have not only doubled, but tripled our projection for the program's impact in the next 2 years. We are training these young people in group guidance. You can move to the next slide. We are training these young people in group guidance. We improve their Hebrew language skills and provide digital orientation. Each participant receives a total of 237 hours of training, including internship and one-on-one mentoring. We at Curtain Call have shown that we have the skill and experience necessary to make a real difference to the well-being of Arab community and Israel at large. In order to expand and deepen this important program, we are seeking a unique partnership with our friends in Europe and here in Israel. I'm sure all of you know that in order to solve a deep-seated problem, you need a creative solution. I invite you to be our partners in this important task. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Ifat. Wow, that was so inspiring. All of your presentations and yours, of course, Ifat. And Ifat will now be available in the private sessions that I'm sure you've all been waiting for the private sessions. It's great to see all your faces and not just the presentation. That's what I see on my side. So now Inbal, she has shared with you, and whoever registered, you've received an email with the link of all of the meetings and the different sessions. Instead of having breakout rooms where it's not very flexible for you to shift between the rooms or to select something based on what you've heard and seen. So what we've done is each institution, each organization has a specific Zoom link for their own meeting. Inbal is sharing now exactly in the chat, and also in Miro you can find it, and also we've sent you in the mailbox, okay, all of the different rooms where you can meet with the different NGOs and organizations and ask them questions and have a free and open discussion. I know that all of you are muted now and it's been difficult for you to take part. So I say goodbye to all the NGOs that are going to their individual sessions, and I will stay here. Bye-bye. See you there. We'll be monitoring as well. And I'm staying here to facilitate and to help anyone who needs special assistance or has any questions. So we're here. I can also unmute you all, kind of free you. Let's see how I do it. So now you can unmute yourselves. And I think you can unmute yourselves. We'll find out soon enough. And if anyone has any questions, you're welcome. Just no, not yet. Okay, so we'll try to make it work. But if someone wants to unmute themselves, I see Alona wants to unmute herself, then you can write in the chat. No, you're fine. You can write in the chat and we'll be happy to help. If there's a specific organization that you want to talk with and you can't find their link, then we're here to help you with that as well.
Everyone should be able to unmute themselves now, so go for it.
If you have anything to say, I think I'll also stop the recording now.